We need to attack the terrorists. That's self-evident.
May I show you a picture?
Of course.
This young boy has become the symbol of the war. Think you know this picture?
Of course I saw it.
His name is Omran, 5 years old,
Yeah.
covered with blood, scared, traumatized. Is there anything you would like to say to Omran and his family?
There's something I would like to say to you first of all, because I want you to go back after my interview and go to the internet to see the same picture of the same child with his sister. Both were rescued by what they call them in the West white helmets, which is a facelift of Al-Nusra in Aleppo. They were rescued twice, each one in different incident, and just as part of the publicity of those white helmets. None of these incidents were true. You can have it manipulated, and it is manipulated. I'm going to send you those two pictures, and they are on the internet. Just to know, just to see that this is a forged picture, not a real one. We have real pictures of children being harmed, but this one in specific is a forged one.
But it's true that innocent civilians are dying in Aleppo.
Of course, not only in Aleppo, in Syria. But now we are talking about in Aleppo because the whole hysteria in the West about Aleppo, for one reason, not because Aleppo is under siege, because Aleppo has been under siege for the last 4 years by the terrorists, and we haven't heard a question by Western journalists about what's happening in Aleppo that time, and we haven't heard a single statement by Western official regarding the children of Aleppo. Now they are talking about Aleppo recently just because the terrorists are in bad shape. This is the only reason, because the Syrian army are making advancement, and the Western country, mainly the United States and its allies like UK and France, feeling that they are losing the last scars of terrorism in Syria, and the main bastion of that terrorism today is Aleppo.
I'm going to tell you a tale of two Syrian boys, Omran and Abdullah. One boy, Omran, is alive and well today. The other, Abdullah, had his head slowly sliced off with a blunt knife by the US armed and trained FSA rebels. But it was Omran's dust-covered face which appeared in every headline and front page of every mainstream media outlet around the world, while Abdullah's face was concealed and his story covered up. Just compare the BBC's coverage of the two incidents. Omran's photo is in the center and clearly visible. In the other case, the BBC actually cropped out Abdullah's face completely in the photo that they used. The BBC's headline was also an attempt to justify the beheading of a child. The handful of articles that did cover the child's beheading also censored the child's face from their front cover. Why is one child, one face, one name worth your attention, while the other child who was brutally murdered by CIA-trained terrorist group Harakat al-Zinki was not? The answer is obvious. NATO powers don't want their people to find out the nature of the terrorists that they support. Showing the world Abdullah's face would have been too damaging to the terrorist rebels and would have gone viral and out of control. Claims that the Omran image went viral on its own because of aesthetics are garbage. This little girl from West Aleppo was shelled by the rebels and had a similar photo taken of her dust-covered face, but the mainstream media did not use her image at all. They never told the world her name, Rim. The mainstream media decides what goes viral. They report approved stories in a coordinated manner. They decide not to tell you that their Al-Qaeda-linked rebels are shelling civilians and beheading kids. And here's the most shocking part of the story that you weren't told. The man who took the photo of dust-covered Omran in the ambulance, whose name is Mahmoud Ruslan, had taken a selfie with the same child beheaders. You can see how he is wearing the same blue shirt when he took Omran's photo and when he took a smiling selfie with child beheaders. The red arrows show the corresponding individuals. 1 minute he's crying crocodile tears over an injured child, and the next minute he's laughing it up with child beheaders. The selfie was posted on his Facebook and was taken 5 weeks after they beheaded the child, showing that he approves of the deed. He outright admitted to the Telegraph that he took the selfie with the child beheaders Harakat al-Zinki rebel group. But in his idiocy, he tried to justify this by claiming the 12-year-old Abdullah was actually a 19-year-old dwarf, as though that makes the beheading okay in his demented mind. In any case, his beheader friends disagree with his lame cover-up attempt.
هي أسرى لواء القدس اليوم ما ضل عنده زلم بعت لنا أطفال اليوم ما شاء الله ما ضل عنده زلم تكبير الله أكبر هاي كليبك يا بشار هاي كليبك أطفال لواء القدس الله أكبر.
In the humanitarian Mahmoud Ruslan's other Facebook posts, he encourages suicide bombings. One post reads, "With the suicide fighters from the land of battles and butchery from Aleppo, we bring you tidings of impending joy." Another reads, "Thousands of suicide fighters and tens of booby traps are being prepared for the great battle in Aleppo. The first battle where I see men weeping because they can't participate." And in other posts, he's seen wearing the colored headbands of the fighters he hangs out with, revealing that he too is likely a fighter. This is very interesting because Mahmoud Ruslan works for the AFP and is linked to the White Helmets group. His employers have a lot to answer to. Most importantly, the world must know the story behind 12-year-old Abdullah's beheading by the CIA-vetted, trained and armed rebel group Harakat al-Zinki. The CIA admit that they gave this group Tau missiles and trained them. To this date, the State Department will not confirm or deny whether they stopped funding them with US taxpayers' dollars. The world must learn about this. Abdullah's face must go viral. I ask everyone who is watching this video to share his story, to hashtag it on Twitter with Syrian boy, to print out the picture with an explanation of what it is about and to place it on every newspaper stand. I'll leave you with 12-year-old Abdullah's last moments with the CIA-trained terrorists for historical documentation. Though it does not contain the beheading or any kind of blood or violence, I warn you that it is disturbing. The full translated video will be posted on my war channel. The untranslated video is already on LiveLeak.
سلفي والأسير من خلفي وأحلى بشجرة تكبير الله أكبر تكبير الله أكبر قرب يقف شجرة ايش الميتات ايش المرض يا والي معاي صورنا في قضاء شأن وياه اشرف بيوت الارميين اسمع شو منيته تذبحوا هذا الفرد عمل شوف ايش منيته لا هو بده هيك تذبح ايش منيته ذبح نحن أكثر من دواعش. يا والي. جينا عظم. يا والي. دبك يا ابن الكلب. علي. علي. هي من جوا بالمركب. هاي متى هي؟ عرض هيك حكيت قبك عشان ذبح. مين هو؟